We are continuing on Hilchot Shabbat, Mishna Berura Siman Shin Bet, and we're up to the last Seif, Seif Yud Gimel, and Peitet Amud Bet of the regular prints of your Mishna Beruras. Maran writes, Ein mistakelin b'mar'ah b'Shabbat. You cannot use the old-time mirrors that were made out of blades of matechet, of different plate of metal that people use to see their image in it. The marot sovot of the Mishkan, the bastion, the kior was made out of marot sovot. That's the olden time before the glass mirrors that we have nowadays were created. This is how they had it. So it says the Shulchan Aruch, you cannot use a metal mirror when it's made out of a thin plate of metal that is sharp on the edges, because they used to use that for, if something needed to be cut, whatever it is. So it was like a one-stop shop, so to speak. You got this, it was the mirror, it was the made for pedicure, all kinds of different things they did with it. So you can't use that, says the Shulchan Aruch. The Chayshinan, because we are concerned, maybe you're going to actually be Shema Yashir Bah Nimina Medul Dalin. Maybe you're going to take away some of the hanging hairs that you have that needs to be beautified and taken away, because that's how people did it in Yemot HaChol, and that would become a problem. Even once the Isur is there, even if you have bolted this metal plate to the wall, so you're not going to take it off. You can't, even if you wanted to, take it off. Still, the Gezerah of Chazal stays the same, that with a metal plate that is a mirror, you cannot use it on Shabbat. But the mirrors that we have nowadays, obviously there's no chashash, and that the Shulchan Aruch says this is a very reason-based halacha. Therefore, nowadays we don't necessarily have the same concern, and that would be mutar. Now, the next siman, after we discuss in siman shin aleph the halachot of hotza'ah, of carrying on Shabbat, and we're skipping kind of a siman from Shin Aleph to Shin Gimel. Continuing that topic, we spoke about what type of garments are considered halachically a levush, that you could come out with them on Shabbat. We're not concerned that you're going to take it off and so on. That really goes to a question of, okay, garments we understand. How about decorative jewelries and other decorative items that women would wear? Are we concerned, like the Gemara says, that sometimes she's going to take it off and show it to her friends as they're walking, and before you know it, she's walking with the tachshitim, the piece of jewelry, the articles of jewelry that she's wearing, and that will become obviously a problem. So it says the Shulchan Aruch, lo tetzei isha bechutei tzemer velo bechutei pshtan velo b'ritzuot shberosha. They used to have different strings that they would put through their hair for beautifying themselves. It's a colorful. Some would be back in the day, it would be considered hair. The original hair extensions that they had back in the day as well. But these chutim that they have, that they need to take it off when they go to Tefillah, they can't go out with it, because once you go to Tefillah, you have to take them off, because Chatzitza, you take them off, and then your hair is going to be wet, and then if you wear them on wet hair, you may ruin them, and so on, so you may come to actually carry them on Shabbat, and therefore we don't allow that. Shema, Tolichem Arba'amot B'Reshut HaRabim. Maybe she's going to carry them in Reshut HaRabim Arba'amot, Ve'imhem Kluot B'Sara, but if they are woven, so to speak, in the braid, they're braided inside her her head, with her hair together, then it's mutar. And there are those who say that even there is going to be halachically a problem. This is machloket Rashi and other Rishonim, and Reb Chaim Petromoli of Turkey in Petach HaDvir, he writes that even though the Yerushalmi seems to hold like this Rashi, that is more machmir, Lemaaseh Maran is Stam V'yesh, halacha kistam, and therefore we go after the stam. So this is kind of a halachic can of worms, because once you have a Yerushalmi that seems to side with something, we technically should be going with the Yerushalmi, even this safek in the Rishonim. We would paskin when you have a doubt in Bavli and there's a clear Yerushalmi. Generally speaking, we follow the Yerushalmi. Those are the Klalei Psak. But over here we have Maran Shulchan Aruch that sided with the Stam versus the Shomrim, and therefore says the Petach HaDvir that we are going to follow the Psak of Shulchan Aruch to be Mekel over here, not like the Yerushalmi. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Ve'imhem Maaseh Ariga, Mutar shenetzricha la'asiram b'shat tvila. If it's Maaseh Ariga, then the open and the water could go through, and you don't have to even halachically take it off when you go to mikveh. The Mishna Berura writes, the hani lo mehatki shapir. They're not very tight; they're loose. The water could travel within them and cover everything. Then it would be mutar. And this is what the Shulchan Aruch, he brings the Shulchan Aruch in Yoredas Mokuf Tzadichet, which is the halachot of chatzitza. The Satam Shal b'Seif Gimel, the Dafka K'shmasa Ariga, Hayu Chalulim. We're talking about the case that they actually have holes, it's mamash open, that would allow the water to travel easily and loosely in between it. That's when it's mutar. As in Sarich Rasim. That's when you don't have to take them off. Says the Shulchan Aruch, obviously, says the Ramah, this edition, obviously we're talking about the case that they're not dirty, or muzhavim, or they're not gold plated, or made out of gold, because then she's got to take them off, because she doesn't want them to become dirty with the water, right? So if the strings are dirty with there's mud on them, you go into the water is going to become muddy, and your body is not going to be clean going into this water, so you're going to take them off. If you have expensive gold plated or gold strings in it, obviously you don't want the gold to get ruined also, you're going to take it off. So if it's a very expensive material, or if it's very dirty, then for sure she's going to take them off, she's not going to go to mikveh with them, so therefore it will be obviously a problem, because then you're back to square one, that now you took it off, you may now come to carry it b'reshut harabim. Says the Shulchan Aruch, mutar latzet bechutin shebetzavara shem refuim. If you have strings that are like the pendants that we have nowadays, they're not tight around the neck, you have a pendant, you don't have to take it off. Nowadays is masim shebachol yom, people go to dunk without having any regard necessarily for. I'm not talking about a halachic dunk. People go to swimming, go to the sea to swim. They don't take necessarily their pendants off. They leave it there because it's loose. It's and they're not so makbid of having it there. So therefore, that would be fine. Says the Shulchan Aruch. Let's just finish this seif over here. There's one of the tachshitei ha'isha, one of the well-known jewelries in the time of Chazal, and now there's also, they have it, was a piece of jewelry that would go tightly around the neck, and it would show, even if the body is obviously covered with garments, it would show on the neck. Some of it was the shape of Yerushalayim, city of Yerushalayim. It was different images that they would depict. And that, it would be asur, says the Shulchan Aruch, because that will be a chatzitza. It's tightly around your neck, and you would have to take it off in order to be able to go to Tevilah, and you may come to carry it. 400 b'shut rabim, לפי שהיא מהדקת אותה כדי שתראה בעלת בשר. They would b'dafka make it tight around themselves to look more בעלת basar. Back in the day, it was considered a sign of health when a person was a little heavy set. That would make them look, their face look more chubby a little bit, I guess. And that would be a problem. Because it's tight, she's going to take it off. She's going to have to take it off when she goes to the Tevilah, and then we are concerned that she's going to come to carry it 400 b'shut rabim. And they also had a head plate, so to speak, that was made out of, she's going to carry it. And similar to that is sharbitin. These are all names of different pieces of jewelry that was available for a woman, customary to wear in the time based on the culture that they had. That was a very similar thing to the katla and to the totefet, and therefore all of those are going to be asur. והוא שאינם תפורים בסבכה, דחיישין הדילמה שרפה להטויה ועתי להטויה 400 ב'shut הרבים. Obviously, if it's not tied to her snood, so to speak, because her snood, that gives her the ability to have a head covering, that we're not concerned that she's not going to wear and go with open head. B'shut harabim, that obviously we're not concerned about, but short of that, we would be having an issue with it. And says the Rama, v'yesh omrim de betula she'ena chosheshet de gidui rosha. A betula, a non-married woman that's not concerned about her head being uncovered, afilu tefura b'svacha, even if she has it on her head covering, it will be still asur because she may not wear the head covering and go out. So therefore, that would become really a very practical thing of what yes and what not. Now we have to speak nowadays about different pieces of jewelry that are prevalent in our time, what things women can and cannot go out with on Shabbat, which Be'ezrat Hashem will be a topic for the next year.